tell you. Now, Lane's been singing around here for years. I know you know that. But Lynn has just blown up, right? Has that just been beautiful? I love it. It's so wonderful. They are truly showing this topic today, best of all. It's all about the best. All about the best. Okay, the best, the best. Excellence, high quality, tops in the game, top in degree, top in effort. The largest, the most suitable. Also, in a greetings, give my best. I give my warmest regards. We are consumed with best, one's best. It's really interesting. I think we're kind of obsessed with best. I was looking at this thing about best because everybody's about to win. I mean, some of our guys here were up at Lake Isabella, but they're not here right now because they have to go see their favorite best football team. I guess the Patriots are playing somewhere, somehow. So they're like tuned in. They didn't stay up at Lake Isabella because their best is to watch football, and they didn't have cable up there, so they had to come home. Those of you that are visiting, our men go on a retreat every year, and they usually stay through Sunday and watch the service over the internet, but this year they didn't. They had to come home to watch the Patriots game. Thanks to those that did come to the service. I see you. Grateful. Good to have you here. And I was just looking at that and thinking about this best. You know, there is actually a season for the winning. We have an award season. It's from November through February, and I looked it up, and it's really crazy. All the awards, it's mostly for films, of course. Look at this. Listen to this. The Gotham Awards, the People Choice Awards, the Hollywood Film Awards, the National Board Review Awards, the New York Film Critics Service Circle Awards, the Los Angeles Film Critics Association Awards, the New Society of Film Critics Awards, the Critic Choice Awards, the Golden Globes, the Writers Guild Awards, the Producers Guild Award, the Screenwriters Guild, the Malibu Film Festival gives out awards, Director Guilds of America gives out awards. There's something called the Satellite Awards. They even give you awards for films in outer space. The British Film Industry Awards, the Independent Spirit Awards. We have our own Spirit Awards, but they're not independent. They're CSL-based. The Golden Raspberry Awards. Okay. USC even gives out awards. They give the Scripter Awards. And then there's, of course, it closes out with the Academy Awards for the film season. But we do it also in the championships. There's the bowl games, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Bluebonnet Bowl, the name your favorite bowl, whatever bowl it is, the Chips Bowl. It's all the bowls. Pick a bowl. Whew, then there's the Pro Bowl, and then we finally close that out with the Toilet Bowl. Some people would like to do that to the Super Bowl, wouldn't they? Then every year we have the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, also during the award season, November to February. And then there's the best cities. Always making these best cities lists. The best city to live in, the best city to buy a house in, the best city to raise children in, the best city for married people, the best city for single people, the best city to buy a house, the best city to start a business. We are consumed with the best. But the best. Whoa. Whoa, I am all out of peppermints, otherwise there'd be one coming your way, buddy. I tell you what, I love that, man. That's my Joe LaSalle. Go Joe! Chee, high five. But I really do. All these surface awards and these awards are given on the human side. That's great. But the best of all is what we come here to study. The best of all is that we are associated with a divine spirit. That's really the best. Dr. Holmes says it so well. He says, this is the best news. We are surrounded by an infinite mind which, should we become receptive to it, could acquaint us with anything and everything. Anything and everything. See, the spirit that we're a part of, this infinite mind that we're a part of, should we become receptive to it? Now that's interesting. We have this choice. We can block it out. We can ignore it. We can think it's all us doing it all by ourselves. And we know how that turns out sometimes, right? We have to do the action once we become receptive to it. We have to step into the action. I'm thinking about a friend of mine that tells this story about turning his life over to God, and he did that, and everything started going really, really well. And he imagined his life as kind of like a rowboat, and he's traveling, and everything's going straight. He's just rowing along, and life was getting so good that he sort of let go of the oars and just started to cruise, and then suddenly his boats just started to go adrift and float toward the shore. And he was like, God, what has happened? How come my life is going toward the shore, about to crash? And God screams out to him, God don't row. We do have to take the action, right? We have to become receptive, and once we become receptive, it can acquaint us to everything and anything. Because see, spirit is the storehouse of all potential. All potential. but it has to express itself through us. You see, we have to have that direct connection. And that's what I love about our teaching, The Science of Mind. We are taught that there is a direct connection, that spirit is us and we are spirit. And because we have that direct connection, there's no intermediary. We don't have to go to anybody else. You don't have to come and go through me or through a practitioner or through any kind of prayer process. You go through the consciousness of your own mind, through the receptivity of your own mind, through your understanding of these spiritual truths. And as you align yourself with those spiritual truths, your life begins to change. But we must listen. We must be receptive. We must believe absolutely in this power, in this presence, in this connectivity, and then be convinced that we know how to make it work. Dr. Holmes says in this lovely book I've been reading, Good for You, he says, we should feel that spirit expresses itself directly through us is our guiding star in every enterprise. Our guiding star. It's the bright light that's showing us the way. This is why they talk about the guiding star for the wise men. It was this inner spirit, this guiding light that drove them toward that story. It's all so metaphysical. We try to think, where is the actual North Star? No, the guiding star is within us, and as we open ourselves to the receptivity of it, we feel its presence, we feel its guidance. But that takes a certain amount of faith to feel that direct connection. We have to trust that it's actually there, that it is a part of our everyday being. This faith that it takes to make the science of mind work. And I love that. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who is that I grew up with, actually, and we went to high school together, and we were kind of crazy kids. I will admit it. I will go before a microphone and tell you that I was a crazy high schooler. And I know how many is too many beers. I know how many, I got a seat in a room that tells me how many is too many. But the great thing is you get to grow and change. We get to mature and to look back on the things we've done in life and then move forward and take a new step. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes we ever make in our lives. And this friend of mine, who was one of the high school partiers that I was, he's also a minister. But he's a minister of the more traditional Christian faith. But we find allegiance in understanding that there is this power greater than we are that we can trust. And he was saying that we were talking, and he says, I got to quit listening to you because you're going to make me give up my church. Because he really gets this idea. And he tries to teach it from his own philosophy that Jesus came to tell us how to live life in a more full way. Jesus did not come to become a rock star and have people throw stuff on the stage in front of him. He came to lead and guide by example. And that's what we do in the Science of Mind. We study that example, We know that we claim, we declare, we accept, and then we make it happen, We don't plead, we don't beg, we don't think, maybe coulda, shoulda, coulda. See, it's more than woulda, coulda, and shoulda. It's about putting our feet on the ground and taking the action. Dr. Holmes says, the dreamer is always floating in the clouds, while the practical person, that's us in here, the practical person keeps his thought in the clouds and his feet on the earth, right? We can dream the big dreams, but what are we going to do with the big dreams? We got to bring them down to earth and get about the business of making them happen. We got to do like the great example said. He didn't say, hey, Lazarus, dude, could you would you want to come outside of the cave and come and hang out with us? No, that's not what he did. He said, come forth, stand up and come out. He demanded it, He didn't tell the blind man, look, if you feel like looking, if you want to see, I think maybe you could probably open your eyes and see. No, he said, to the crippled man, He didn't say, if you want to walk, maybe you just come on, we can go. No, he said, pick up your blanket and walk. He just said, do it. And that's what we get to do. That's what the Science of Mind is all about. It's about taking these lessons and making our claim upon this infinite mind, this storehouse of infinite possibility, and then bringing it out into our life to make it happen, to develop new arts and new sciences and new philosophies and a better life, a higher civilization. That's what we get to do, and that has been what's happening, you see. He goes on to say, Dr. Holmes goes on to say that infinite wisdom becomes human knowledge in such degree as the human furnishes a channel through which it may flow. See, we must furnish that channel. We must be that opening for this divine mind, the storehouse of infinite knowledge, to come into experience. And it's been happening. I mean, I'm thinking about just back through history, Plato and Copernicus and Shakespeare, this wonderful poet, or Gandhi, who's changed the whole culture of the world with his nonviolent movement, or Einstein, who has got almost as many quotes on Facebook as Abraham Lincoln. I didn't know either one of them had a Facebook account, but they're on there all the time. But each and every one of us is that divine channel. We are that opening for spirit. And so the question is, what are we going to do with that opening? How do we move forward into a higher experience of life? I contend that we take our faith and we add it with action. We become that willing channel, and we move past the past. I spoke about it briefly a minute ago when I was talking about my own high school journey and what it took to get. It took a long time to get. It took me 36 years to finish college. I mean, I went to this one college where I just didn't resonate. It didn't resonate. And I got a job in broadcasting, and it was a good job, and I was going to journalism school, and I was paying them money to get grades, to do what I was getting paid for to do, and that didn't seem to make sense. So I stopped going to school. But then there was something in me that said, wait a minute, that was unfinished business. And so some years later, I went back and I got a bachelor's and I got a master's, and I shifted and I changed. I put this stuff into action. But I didn't look back at the past and think that was a mistake. I looked at it as the journey that I was on. If you've looked at anything in your past and you've seen it as a mistake, I challenge you to take a look at that and go back and reframe that mistake as an experience of learning. An experience to dive into and to pull from and to nurture and to mine your good out of, and to step freely into your future and accept it on the divine terms without any limits. And that means including difficulties or failures or struggles. Because see, there is this, whatever idea, those dreams that we were talking about a couple frames ago, the infinite wisdom that you're a channel for, you see, that dream, I don't know about your dreams, but my dreams come pretty complete. They also come in like intense Technicolor on a big IMAX screen. It's amazing. That's why I think I wake up so fast, because it's like too much to take at one time. And the image is fully complete. And the image of the divine, the ideas that we get, come fully complete. You know why they come so fully complete? Because they are complete in the infinite mind. They are complete. And we as the channels bring them forth into manifestation. And what we need to do then is to open ourselves up and forget the idea that some of the things we're trying to do are struggling or failing or hard to do. In fact, Abraham, I love Abraham, Abraham. You talking about Esther, Jerry Hicks, Abraham? Okay. Abraham says, when some things seem hard, you're not allowing something that is already created to flow into your experience. Check that out. Now think about that. When things seem hard, you're not allowing something that's already created to flow into your experience. You're not seeing yourself as the best. Perhaps you're not seeing yourself as worthy. Perhaps you're not seeing yourself as deserving. Perhaps you're not seeing yourself as capable or able. But the fact that you have the idea, begin with, that you have the idea, that you've seen it, means that you are capable and that you are worthy and that you have what it takes to make it. You see? And so if it's not happening, maybe it's because you're thinking those other things. You're holding back. You're not allowing. Stand in the allowance of it and say like that song, use me. Use me. Oh God, I stand for you. Here I abide. Show me all that I can do. And all that you can do is your best each and every day. I say, be a bat. Not a bat, but a believer, an acceptor, and a truster. Believe, accept, trust. When you believe in yourself and accept that you can do it and trust in His infinite power to deliver your good into your life, you'll be amazed at what you can do. Dr. Holmes talks about it. He says, one who has learned to trust, one who has learned to trust, one who has learned to trust. See? See how it works? I had an idea in mind. I just trusted. And I was going to pick up the button and push it. Has learned to trust. Will not be surprised. Will not be surprised when even when even when one finds desired things coming from the most unexpected sources. This one, I'm starting a little bit about this because I'm challenged around this conversation. You see, this week's activities in Washington, this year's activities with women in the Me Too movement, it's surprising what it's bringing to us. It's surprising where these opportunities are driving us. Who would have thought? You thought Weinstein was the big thing. You thought a president who got elected on tapes that were saying things that he did to women that are disgusting. Regardless of what you think about him as a leader, if you support him, go for it. But the actions that led to this movement and the actions that brought us all the way to our Supreme Court, that brought us out to a situation, I mean, my goodness, who would have thought? That's surprising. And who would have thought that it would be the catalyst to move us to a new space, to a new time, and to a new place in life and how we deal with. It's the rise of feminine energy in the world. It's time for the goddess energy to blow up in the world. Men have had it a long time and we've been doing our thing. And you know, that women's march the day after the election, millions of women all over the world, no violence, no cars turned over, no. I mean, are you kidding? I can't even imagine the millions of guys around the world having a peaceful protest, and then after the peaceful protest going, yo, we were peaceful for 4 hours, boom, throw the car over. Because that's just the energy that's in us. And so it's nice. It's time for that to be balanced out because the universe desires balance always. That's why there's thunder and lightning. Lightning is because the universe, the earth, is trying to be at balance. Negative ions at the bottom of the clouds. Positive ions coming to the surface of the earth caused by the up and down motion within that cloud. And then suddenly it's too much imbalance. Boom, lightning strikes. Boom, lightning has struck America. Amen. And we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity here to do something really amazing. And it comes from a surprising source, an unexpected source. But we here in religious science, we trust. We trust that there's only love and that life is good. And something good is flowing in the country today. I truly believe that. So we just have to remember that there is this storehouse of infinite potential that we are a part of, and that we can move through, and that we can shift and change the planet, one person at a time. There's new art, there's new science, there's new philosophies, there's better and higher government. The civilization will expand and grow as we begin to listen. As we listen with a deep conviction that knows what it knows. You see, the soul knows. As we listen with faith, as we listen to that divine sweet whisper, we listen with an open mind and a soft heart, and our feet planted firmly in the ground, and our heads open to the sky. That's why Dr. Holmes talks about open at the top. We must remain open at the top, and yet we must remain ready to act. Ready to act. In that wonderful book I've been reading, which I'm going to switch to another book next month, maybe. It's so good for you. He says, to keep an integrity with our own soul, to trust ourselves, though others doubt us, and yet make allowances for their doubting too, is to let go of all that denies the magnificence and the beneficence of God. To keep an integrity. Integrity is an inside job. To keep integrity with our own soul. To listen in the silence of the Spirit. To go into your Father's closet. To go into your closet and listen for your Father's voice in secret. That's to stay in your own mind, you see. Don't go home and go climb in the closet and pray. The closet is in your own mind. And to stay there and to trust that. Even though others may doubt the things that come out. You come out and you say something and somebody looks at you and goes like, give you the dog look. That's okay. If you're open and you're connected to it, you know, it's all right. Just be compassionate for their doubting. Make allowance for their doubting too. Be compassionate for it. don't forget, you see, if you let the doubts get you, what you've forgotten is God is magnificent. This infinite intelligence is magnificent, and it's beneficent. It's forever giving of itself. It desires for us to have the kingdom. The kingdom is the good, the riches of life. It desires for us to be victors in this thing called life. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs, blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied to and don't give way to lies. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or see the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make a heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose, and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and your nerve and your sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, if you can walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son, if Rudyard Kipling. I love that last part. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, time doesn't stop. What are you going to do with your time in your life? Fill it, because it's not forgiving. It's going to keep moving. Right? It's not consumed with your past. It doesn't care what your past was. It's just tick, tick, ticking along. Fill it, right? And then yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more. You'll be a man, my son. My deference to Mr. Kipling, I rewrote the last line. I say, the best is yours, and everything that comes with it, and more. You, my beloved, will be divine, my son. You'll be divine. And so it is. So let's do it. I experience the best of life because I consciously accept divine guidance directing me as to what to do and how to do it, and I'm doing it now, right now, right now. All righty. That Kipling, I love that poem. If. All right, it's our time for prayer. I think Jennifer just went out to get the box. Thank you, Reverend. Yes. All right, this is our time for the healing prayer where we speak the word of truth and align ourselves and accept that divine guidance, and then know that we make a motion, we make a vibration take place that moves us to a new experience of life, to that higher civilization, that right action, that divine healing that needs to take place for certain people. And we know this is just an experience that has come to pass. So if you know someone that's in an experience that has come to pass, or you just want to celebrate the gratitude and the beauty that is your life itself, I offer you this time to speak that out loud into the room, and then I will pray for all of us, and we'll just know that a divine motion is taking place. So I open the room now for prayer request. Rising up from the silence, I feel the presence of love in this space. And I know that love is outpicturing as each and every one of us here as the individuated divine expressions of the only thing that is, which is God itself. how wonderful it is that we populate that is God. I'm consumed with the idea that God is so big yet so nothing that it can barely even be explained. And that frustration, if I could give God that kind of an idea, that frustration came forth as an explosion of creation that resulted in each and every one of us so that we could have the experience of being conscious of that is consciousness itself. So we are in co-partnership, cooperation, coordinated, corresponding with that which is the only thing that is. We bring it into time and space. And so in that unified understanding, in that divine collective consciousness, we can speak this word of truth for each and every person here. That there is a divine action that knows exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and is doing it now. It is doing it in the form of right action and divine harmony. It's doing it in the form of justice and healing and well-being. It's taking broken hearts and mending them. It's taking those that are dealing with transitions and bringing them a sense of comfort and sureness that knows that love is the outpicturing of all life, and therefore there is a soothing energy that makes things right, no matter what the situation is. If it's a person who's looking for that right and perfect job, right now there's another person looking for the right and perfect employee, and the two of them are coming together in the perfect time, divinely guided and divinely directed for this resolution of what appears to be a stressful situation, but is not. These appearances, they're false. The reality is it's only good, it's only life, it's only love outpicturing. And as our dear friend Michael Beckwith says, the truth will set you free, but sometimes it might just piss you off first. Well, you know what? That's okay. We have the ability to move through that motion because we know that love is the motivator and good is the outcome. So we just keep our feet on the ground, we keep our head in the sky, and we step right on into our good. That includes the good that takes this world to a better place of brotherhood and sisterhood, where all people are known as equals, all are seen as their individualized expressions and celebrated for their diversity, and knowing that the many become the one because the many see each other as the one. And unity is the ultimate destination. I feel a movement taking place in this world today that brings out more peace, more joy, more love, more satisfaction, the best for all. If you believe that with me now and you're grateful to know this truth is marching forward into expression, affirm it with me as we release this prayer into law by saying, and so it is, and so it is. Okay?